champion looking to add to his legacy by dispatching another dangerous contender. An undefeated challenger from the UK set on dethroning the pound-for-pound king.
Palomino's the number one pound for pound. So for me to be the best, that's who I want to face.
There is no beating me. I will retire undefeated.
We are live, all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Socia here with the Bare Knuckle Show. Glad to be here again with you this week. Always love hanging out with you for a little while. Off of an exciting show, BKFC 44. We have a new champion in Kai Stewart and a great crowd in Great Falls. Great Falls was a blast. They're always loud. They're always proud. They love their fights. Matter of fact, I saw Kai Stewart on a radio show the other day with Star Radio. They were interviewing him after on the morning show about him winning the title. So still talking about us in Great Falls. We're excited about that. I'm still talking about Great Falls for another reason. As you know, the budget on my show, as I say every week, we seem to have hiccups. They give me a little bit of a budget. But I don't know where the hotel budget's at. I got put in some hotel. I don't think people want to be around me or something. I got put in a hotel by myself. And in that hotel, I don't know why they would build a hotel. This was insane the whole time I was there. Why? Feeling good, as you can tell, so it was double bad. But man, I actually got out my phone and I recorded this. This is the train. This is like 1 a.m. Listen to this jerk off leaning on the horn. Why would you do that? There's no cross section. It's all the way down the street. Listen, this is actual recording. It's not. Listen, why? Right behind the thing. So I'm still recovering from not sleeping at all and feeling like dirt. When I talked to the front desk, I was asking them. They said there's another one. See. They always know what engineer is on because there's one that just blows it once. Jesus. Yeah, that's what I felt like. There's always one that just blows that horn off, and the other one kind of does it easily. I feel like this guy probably has no life and gets excited by that. So if you're watching, you're a jerk off. I don't like you. You're a piece of dirt. Let's move on. So are you. I don't need to hear that anymore.
You're a crumb creep.
That's it. The sound effects are on point today. He's a crumb creep, and I want to fight him. He's a bum. He's a scum bum piece of dirt. There we go.
You're a crumb creep, lush coward.
You don't even know me, Mayor.
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you.
Frank. Again, we're going to have to play that video one day. Let's get into the rundown of what's going to be happening today. Again, I apologize for the cough. Bear with me, but it's just something I'm dealing with as I don't feel that good. All right, so the rundown today, I'm very excited for the first segment we're going to debut. It's called Tea Time with Tony. Tony Loco Soto is going to be coming on. And what a graphic, right? Where's his teacup? His teacup's not in the graphic. Oh, man. We had a teacup, a nice teacup. He's going to be drinking his tea, talking to us, hitting the hot highlights of what's going on. We're going to talk to him about his former pro skateboarding career, get his feedback on BKFC 44, see what he thinks about BKFC 45. Tony is never at a loss for words, so that's going to be awesome. Also going to talk a little bit about BKFC 44. There's the teacup. Talk a little bit about, what a good graphic. Talk a little bit about BKFC 44 and what went down there. Because again, we have a new champion. The crowd was loud and ready to go. I mean, they love fighting in Great Falls. James Lights Out Lilly is going to be joining us ahead of his fight against Luis Baboon Palomino for a world title at BKFC 44. Going to kind of unpack what he's into as far as a lot of stuff. I mean, he's a father, he's a poet, he's a fighter. There's a lot to get to with James Lilly. Excited for that. He's always a fun time. BKFC 45, speaking of that, we're going to talk about that quickly as well and kind of look at some of what could happen there. Also, in Great Falls, I failed to mention this, a bare knuckle proposal. I mean, interesting. We'll have footage of that. Did she like it? Did she say yes? Did she say no? I don't know if my wife would have said yes if I proposed to her at a bare knuckle event. I don't know if she would have liked that. But hey, who knows? Let's see what she said. We'll get to that later in the show. I said it would be better, honestly, if she says no, it'll go more viral. It'll go more viral. Also, another thing I want to talk about is, and this is something that's been bugging me for a while, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We never did this. With all the Conor McGregor talk when he showed up in Denver for BKFC, and it was such a big story, but it kind of unfortunately got overshadowed by the Conor McGregor stuff and everything else. Chad Mendes fought his last fight, and we didn't acknowledge this. I didn't see it in the sports media. So I wanted to take a second. I wanted to acknowledge it because Chad Mendes was good for us to be here. I feel like it brought some eyeballs to us. He was a pleasure to deal with, and I wanted to wish him well in his career. So I wanted to look at some highlights of his fight with Eddie Alvarez really quickly and just talk about Chad Mendes for a couple minutes after we do that. Let's look at the highlights.
From Mendes after Alvarez landed. The fighter's in the ortho stance. There's the jab from Alvarez. Mendes looking for the left uppercut. Overhand right from Mendes on the entry. And down goes Eddie Alvarez. We start round number 3, and we're at 1 knockdown apiece. The short left hook of Eddie Alvarez drops Chad Mendes. Entry, hard left hand right hook from Mendes. Left uppercut on the entry. Mendes just misses with the entry left hook. Left hook, rear right uppercut, left hook from Eddie Alvarez. On a straight left hand, Mendes covering up. Big shots out from Alvarez, and down goes Chad Mendes. There on the duck under from Mendes. Right hand on the entry, left hand counter right hand. We just heard the 10-second clack. Final seconds of this fight. Alvarez on the entry, left hook. Left hand again, right hand. That is ruled a knockdown. We're at 2 knockdowns apiece. Thank you.
I mean, Chad Mendes. Let's listen. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about this.
Thank you.
What a gentleman.
Hey, you're back in the house. Great job, buddy. Go, Chad. Go, Chad. Go, Chad. Thank you. Won that fight. Go, Chad. Hey, where are you drinking?
Where you drinking? Where you drinking? I love these guys.
Good fight tonight, Chad. Come on, champ. Let's go, champ.
What must that be like? I mean, what a way to go out. An amazing fight with Eddie Alvarez, and just the adulation, the love from the fans all around combat sports. You saw that. I thought we didn't get to show that, so I thought it was so cool to watch how Chad got to walk out of there after that fight with his head held high, and all the people just giving him that respect. It was a really cool thing to watch. But Chad's going to be fine. Chad's got his businesses. Chad's into hunting. We know that. Chad has his, I believe, his a YouTube show. Chad is just a decent guy that was an amazing fighter. I don't know if we'll ever see him back. You know how retirement goes. I don't think Chad needs the money. I think he loves fighting, but I don't think he needs the money. But I think it's smart because, you know, you see some of these fighters that they don't know when to call it quits, and you watch and you love them, but you're like, man, it's time. But they don't have it in them. They don't have it within them to call it quits. They're too much of a fighter. They love it too much. But Chad, I think that he knew. He's like, let's get out. I've made some money. I've made some waves. I've competed in bare knuckle. So, Chad, I just want to wish you the best of luck going forward. I know you're a family man. I know you have a great business. Evan, Zentar, the Lord himself. There he is. He's trying to make me laugh, so I'll cough.
Hey.
I told these guys before the show, I'm like, don't make me laugh because I'm going to cough because I have something going on with my chest now. My chest, it's insane. But as far as Chad Mendes, Evan, you've followed fighting for so long. It's great to see the guy go out the way he did, retire the way he wanted to, you know, afterwards. He said, this is it for me. But I do think he's going to be okay. I mean, he does have a lot of stuff going on. What was your read on that? I mean, are you sad to see him go? Or are you kind of glad because he got to make the decision he wanted to make?
I think Chad's such an awesome fighter. I would have liked to see him do more and, you know, even fight some, you know, just bare knuckle guys.
Yeah, I would like that too. But I feel like he's, you know, again, it's his decision. As I said before, a lot of fighters, I think he had more gas in his tank, right? I mean, obviously. But at the same time, it's
a good way to go out. You know, he doesn't.
Head held high.
Yeah, exactly.
What a war that was.
It's not like some medical reason he's riding off into the sunset.
And on his own terms.
On his own terms, and he's going to hunt and fish and do whatever he wants.
Just collect money.
His family's taken care of, and that's the best. That's what you want as a fighter. That's you get in, you get your fights in. Hopefully, you don't take any permanent damage and get out. Yeah. So
that's what he did. And I think that I just wanted to take, like I said, a couple minutes to talk about it because I feel like, unfortunately, it got overshadowed. Yeah. And I think Chad deserved a little more than that. But we all understand why it did. So kudos to Chad Mendes.
I think we had to go to commercial or something, right?
You want to go to commercial?
No, no. I'm saying during the broadcast, it got held up, his retirement, because we were like...
Is that what happened?
We were on TV and had to go to commercial.
I didn't realize that happened.
We were standing around in there waiting to come back.
I don't know, dude. Look, my brain doesn't work past yesterday, bro. But I do remember that fight, and that says a lot. It was an intense fight. You saw the reaction in the video there of Dave Feldman.
I wouldn't mind using him for commentary, though, or something.
He would be good.
He would have some insight.
He could do good backstage interviews, too, man. That might be something to think about. I don't know what his price tag is to travel and stuff. Because like we just said, he doesn't interview him, like stuff that didn't make the final cut or not on this show, even on this show, he was always a gentleman, and he always seemed very happy to be here with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. You can always tell the guys that want to be here and the guys and women that are doing it for the money. I'm speaking of someone, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, Chad was a professional, and he was totally cool with the process. He kind of knew what we were, and he spoke highly of us. He said,
Sure
you know,
did.
for a new promotion, we sure do it right. So that's nice to hear from a guy, especially like Chad, who's, you know, been in the UFC, and they have everything locked in.
Speaking of the UFC, one of the things I thought was interesting when I talked to Chad when he got here, I said, man, what's the like read of the room in the UFC when you talk about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship? And I thought it was a great answer. He said 50% of the guys think it's awesome and they want to do it. 50% are scared to do it. And I feel like that's changed a little bit. I actually think in Denver that changed when all the UFC people showed up. I feel like they understood it more when they got there and were able to watch it live and actually take it in. I mean, do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, of course. You just have to see it, really. A lot of the time, I mean, I remember early on, like on our social media, every comment was kind of like how Power Slap is now. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this? Like, freak show. And then over time, we started to gain fans and people got on our side. So it just takes time. People are always abrasive to something new and want to, shit on it.
Yeah.
But, if you stick around long enough, you start to get a little bit of a fan base.
I will say, Evan, I probably will continue to shit on slap fighting.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I honestly,
it's a guilty pleasure, but it's not good
I think
for
it's
people
funny.
to do.
It's funny, and I understand. I mean, I have the unique perspectives. I saw when we first started, and all the shit people would say about us, and so I can sympathize with them. People shit on it, but there's people. It's not like anybody's forcing them to do it.
That's
They're not
true.
putting a gun to their head.
They're signing the contract.
Yeah, so if they want to do it and you can watch it and be entertained, why? What's the big deal?
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I have stopped when it was like on my feed and watched because you want to see what happens. Did you ever see the thing where somebody
it's
sent me
perfect
this?
for social media.
It's amazing.
Because you get that hook in the first second you see somebody get slapped, you're going to stop and watch
What's
it.
better though on social media, and I know you've seen it. I know you have. They do these competitions now where women wear yoga pants and the other woman puts powder on her hand and they smack her butt.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's entertaining too. I'll watch that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what else I'll watch? I got it here. Hold on. Let me get my tea ready. It's time for tea time with Tony Loco Soto. The king himself's coming on. We're going to talk to Tony here. Tony, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, baby. What's good, brother?
Cheers, Tony. How are you?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm at the gym right now. Figured, jump on with you real quick and spill some fucking tea for the fans. You already know.
Let's spill some tea. There's a lot I want to talk about before we spill our tea. A lot of stuff that I got to tell you. Number one, we talked about it last week, Tony. I'm always interested in your social media. You're always updating. The town you live in is insane. Last week you showed like a nun from The Conjuring fixing a motor, and then you showed Hulk Hogan, some guy dressed as him, running around fixing carts, and then you show like, I don't know, them dumping sand in your backyard, and then you're doing pro skateboarding stuff. There's always something going on with you. Now, you were a pro skateboarder. Is that correct?
Yeah, I traveled the Dew Tour in 2007, and we started in Portland, Oregon, the Vans Invitational. I've been to Louisville, Kentucky, competed. I competed all over the country. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
You looked a little different back then, and it's my fault. I didn't pull the picture, but the head of hair you had was insane. We'll have to show that another week when you're on. You had like, your hair was insane. It was just like, wow. And like that sound effect, wow. But
that's what happens when you're like a grungy skateboarding pothead and you don't have time to cut your hair.
At least you're honest. Being a pro skateboarder, what does that mean though? Is there money in it? Were you being paid?
Yeah, you compete in the competitions, and depending on, if you place or not, it was usually like top 10. When I was, wow, look at that footage. This is all new footage of me. I haven't skated in over 8 years, and this is me pretty much getting it back. I got it back within like, I don't know, a couple days, but I haven't found any bowls. But back to your question, it paid pretty well. I tore my ACL the first time I actually was skating, and I kind of had to simmer down, and that's kind of when I primarily started to focus more into martial arts. I was like, man, skateboarding ain't gonna last, and I take some pretty hard shots, and I don't think anybody in this fucking fighting world is gonna hit me as hard as the concrete has.
So, how long did skateboarding last for you? Was it a couple years, 5 years, a year?
Oh well, I skated over 20-something years, man. I started when I was 8 years old. My first competition, I believe I was like 13. I got first place at X Ramps in Brooklyn. I was on the Free Flow Mountain Dew tour. I met David Lloyd. I skated with Ryan Sheckler. What's his name? Tony Hawk's son. He's bad. He was bad at a kid. Riley Hawk.
Yeah.
A couple others. Fabrizio Santos. Jeremy Rogers. All those guys. I skated with all those dudes.
Again, we're here. We're having tea time with Tony, and I love this. Tony, the graphic is phenomenal. Look at this graphic for your segment. You hear the music?
Big shout out to Dan Gage for that one. He really came up with that idea. He's a really good dude. And look at that face, man. That has Loco Soda written all over it.
That's
Man.
phenomenal.
It's fucking tea, baby.
That's phenomenal. There you go. Tea time with Tony. I love it. So let's get back to your skateboarding here. I just had to have a sip of my tea. Let's talk about, you talked about it was tough on your body. No one's going to hit you like the concrete does. And you guys are warriors who skateboards. I mean, your ACL problem, any other injuries coming from that? I mean, you're skating without a shirt in that video. Why would you do that? Are you insane? Yes. Well, you are. You're Loco.
Yes. That's my fucking nickname.
That's your gimmick. And isn't that called like Shithole Park or something?
Yeah, the name of the park is called Shithole. It's located in Hickory, North Carolina. And if you go to the Shithole on Instagram, there's actually a GoFundMe. This is a do-it-yourself park built from local skateboarders. I was invited to come skate, and these guys are all doing this out of their pocket, and they put together a pretty nice park, man. It's all for the skate community, so you gotta show some love.
Yeah, straight up. So as far as skateboarding, it seems like such a tight-knit community. There's no secret, I've talked about this. I come from the pro wrestling community. That's where I'm from. Very tight in the community as well. Now, one thing that always stuck out to me about pro wrestling is that when I was younger, I enjoyed it more. I thought that it was a better business. I thought that it was a better product. I just thought it was better. I still love it, but I thought it was better. Do you feel that skateboarding's evolved for the better, for the worse? Like, where's it at now?
It has evolved. It's more of a, how do you say, it's kind of like the McDonald's now, like at the top levels, like the skateboarding league. Like, I mean, those guys, I don't even think they're having fun at this. But then you still have, like, I would say that the lower level pros, like some of the, the guys who are still on the street grinding, having fun, doing what they love, getting footage. That's skateboarding. The feeling of skateboarding is just to be free. There's no rules. You do what the fuck you want. You go out there and you have fun, man. And that's how it relates to fighting. Because when you get in there, you're free. That's your moment. You get to do, of course, there's some rules, to apply for some, unless you're throwing spinning back kicks when you get rocked. But yeah, but yeah, I feel like it definitely plays a big part in being in the bare knuckle fighting community too. So.
Of course it does. And I just wanted to find that out about the skateboarding, because I've always heard this. We were out in the street one time and someone's like, "Oh, Tony Soto, I used to skate with that guy." I'm like, "He's a skateboarder?" Like, "Yeah, he's a pro. He was really good." So thank you for kind of sharing that with us. We can talk about that again in the future, but let's get into some bare knuckle stuff. BKFC 44, Great Falls, great crowd. They were a fight town. They were loud. They were nuts. They were crazy. Kai Stewart over Louis Lopez in the main event. We have a new champ. Kai is now the King Kai of the 145. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you what I heard. King Kai. Sorry.
Yeah,
145.
yeah.
See, I deserve that. I'm a scumbag. I'm a mook. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. But here's what I'll tell you. He's King Kai now of the 145-pound division. Where do you think he's headed? I know what he talked about after he won, but where do you see Kai Stewart heading with the title? What do you think his next step's going to be?
I feel like him, getting that belt, I guess, yeah, he earned it, I would say, but I don't think he deserves it yet. I still think it's premature. But, all respects to him, hats off to him. He did beat Louis Lopez, who was definitely a game opponent, tough as hell, great dude. I mean, brings a crazy amount of energy, but I just don't see him holding it too long. No offense to the guy. He's a good dude, but him calling out that, I think that's just, oh my God.
So I hold on for a second, Tony. I don't know. We have all kinds of stuff firing off here, so I don't know if they heard what you said, because I barely heard you. I think
Brandon's pressing buttons. You got to say that again.
They're button happy in there.
Fucking
and I appreciate that, because they're trying to find funny sound effects. I get it. But you're saying, I think what you said was that he called out Dat, beat Dat, and win, who's very talented. Now, Kai's the youngest champion I think we've ever had at 22 years old. Kai's a wrestler. Wrestlers are tough. I think that's a big part of Kai. He's getting better and better at fighting, but he's a wrestler. So they're a tough breed. But Dat beat Dat.
He's proven he could take some shots, but I just don't think he's fought anybody at the level of Dat beat Dat. I mean, That's pressure is relentless. I mean, it would be hard to find somebody to pretty much, simulate the way that's going to come at you. I mean, he honestly, in my eyes, I think he beat Palomino. Palomino never even fought somebody that damn good. Look at the problem Palomino had fighting him.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just don't think that he's fought anybody at that level. My hat's off to him for winning the belt. Enjoy the moment, but I really just don't think you're going to hold it that long, buddy.
Well, there you go. That's why we love Tony. That's why I love you, Tony, because you're honest. You are who you are. You would say this to me on the phone if I talked to you and nobody was listening. You'll say it here. What you say is what you're always going to say. Not everyone's like that. You talked about Palomino. I heard you mention Palomino. So let's talk about that. BKFC 45 coming up June 23rd. We're going to have James Lights Out Lilly. He's going to be on the show in a little while. BKFC 45, you got James Lights Out Lilly coming off that win. The Tyler Goodjohn fight. Tyler's training partner, Luis Palomino, defending the lightweight title against James Lilly. What's your take on that fight? I mean, let me tell you what I feel first, and I'm curious if you agree. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a problem for Luis. I think Luis is very talented, but I feel like this might be his toughest challenge yet. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to talk about it since you're an honest guy. We spoke on the phone the other day, and I made that comment to you, and you seemed shocked by that comment. You didn't seem like you agreed.
Well, to be quite frank, at the end of the day, it's a puncher's chance, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you got to look at the level of competition James Lilly's also had, overseas, and even over here. They have not been at the same caliber as Luis Palomino. And then you look at Luis Palomino, some of the people he's fought. He's fought some pretty grade A guys. I think a lot of his wins were kind of paper thin to the point where it could have went either direction, like the Elvin Burrito fight, like also the Dat Nguyen fight. Those fights were really, really close, but he still prevailed and still won. I have not seen James Lilly fight anybody to that caliber, and I'm not shitting on James Lilly. I like the guy. He's a great dude. I personally want him to win this so I can get a free trip over to London and take that shit from him. But, it is what it is. I just think I think this fight can go either way, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. And, if Lilly does win, you get that free trip to London. But if Palomino wins, I mean, maybe it'll be Florida. Who knows where it'll be. But
if Palomino wins, he's going to put on a fucking diaper and he's going to shit in it because he knows he's not going to want me in front of him because I'm going to keep that same energy.
Stiff words by Tony Loco Soto, the king. And that's the thing I like about you also. You're proving that you were the king of the Carolinas. And I believe you said you're trying to be the king of bare knuckle. So in doing that, to knock off the number one pound for pound bare knuckle fighter in the entire world, Luis Palomino, and take a title from him, that could be huge for your career. And we're looking forward to see where your career is going to head, Tony. Listen, before I let you go, because we have James Lilly coming up in a couple minutes, any parting words, anything you want to, the floor is yours. You can talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about other fighters or anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, a little before I got on here with you, I was talking to my manager and I was supposed to say something here, but then he told me not to say it. But stay tuned. Some big news coming up from some great bare knuckle news. You guys are going to love it.
Say it.
Hold out. Come on.
Well, I'll say it.
That's a scumbag. I like your manager. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be hosting the next tryouts. Stay tuned, motherfuckers.
Oh, it's a breaking news. Where's it at? It's
gonna be in it's gonna be at Core MMA. It's gonna be in what is that part? I forgot what part of Florida that shit is.
That doesn't matter. You're gonna be there. We'll
it's gonna be Core MMA. It's a GOAT Combat Agency, and I'm gonna be hosting a seminar. So if you want to be a bare knuckle fighter, you think you got what it takes, come down to Core MMA and let's see what the fuck you got.
Now you're going to get yelled at by your manager, but I'll tell you why that was a smart move. I'll probably get yelled at too if that wasn't confirmed. I always get yelled at. That's why they don't tell me anything. But it's a smart move because now if they change their mind, they're going to look bad.
Listen, I always follow the fucking rules. I'm breaking them for once. You got a problem, you know my address.
Well, you know the thing with Tony Soto, if he's going to be there, I'm sorry, hosting the bare knuckle tryouts, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to meet Tony. He's a great guy. So make sure you get there. And Tony,
listen, we're weeding out the weak because we're only bringing in the strong. I came from tryouts, so I know what the fuck to look for. Let's go.
That's it. Tony Loco Soto coming on, spilling the tea, drinking the tea, the exclusive. I'd never met a guy who's at the gym so much. Put the pinky up. That was Tea Time with Tony Loco Soto. We'll talk to you soon, Tony. Thank you, my friend. Cheers. All right, Tony Soto's the man. That was fun. It's always fun to have him on because he's always so honest. I like that. James Lights Out Lilly, he's coming up. He's over there in England. And, I got to talk about some stuff with him. I didn't realize I'm so stupid. I'm a dumb American.
He's in Wales.
I just did it again. See, I'm a dumb American. And somebody called me out on Twitter because I must have called him an Englishman. Ooh, that's not a good thing. He's a Welshman. So I'm going to address that with him. I'm going to apologize to him because I didn't realize that because, again, I'm a dumb American. He'll be coming on in a couple minutes. So while we're waiting for him, why don't we look at some BKFC 44 stuff, some review of that. I think that BKFC 44, which just happened in Great Falls, we talked about it a little bit with Tony, but the crowd there is just always on fire. I mean, they're ready for fights. So much stuff was going on. Leo Bashir, if you missed that, he was in the prelims. That guy's a legend there. There's a legend. I got to speak with him, and I was like, how about a fight with Leo Bashir and Houston Alexander? He said, I'll fight anyone. I mean, the guy is battle-tested, as is Houston. I wouldn't mind seeing that. There's Leo. Look at that. I think it was like 4 knockdowns in his fight. It was insane. And that's a guy who was in the prelims. Great Falls has a lot of interesting fighters, and it's always a blast to go there. It's a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie, to get there from Philly on the flights and stuff, especially when you fly United and they're terrible, and they delay every flight and I got to get sent home. But that's neither here nor there. This is the medicine talking. I'm getting crazy, see? But it's a great time in Great Falls, and the staff was great. Everything was awesome. The fights were fun. Kai Stewart, big night for him. Like I was saying with Tony, 22-year-old guy. Look, I'm cool with Kai. I'm cool with Louis. I didn't think... If I had a pick, I can say it now, gun to my head. Sorry, Kai. I mean, I thought it could be close, but I thought Louis was going to edge him out. I think that Louis online saying that he thought he won. I love Louis, but maybe the first round. I don't know. But the judges said what the judges said, and we have a new world champion. So as Tony said, congratulations to Kai Stewart because the youngest one we've ever had. The guy's very confident. And I'll say it again, wrestlers are a tough breed. And I think when you get in that clinch and you have a wrestling background as well, that can't hurt. We'll get back to some more BKFC 44 stuff later. We'll try to talk about that a little later. But I have James Lights Out Lilly. I have an apology I have to give him, and I want to talk to him. He's in the virtual waiting room. Let's bring him in. Big fight coming up for James Lights Out Lilly.
Hi,
there he
mate,
is.
you okay?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you.
Good. I have to apologize to you right off the bat. I'm a stupid.
Oh,
Do you know why? I'm a stupid American. And I was, as I was closing the press conference the other night, I happened to mention your fight to plug it. That's the next time we'd be seeing you. And I don't know what I said, but I think I said something to the effect of, I think I called you an Englishman. Don't get mad because I'm going to apologize for being a dumb American. I was contacted on Twitter by a guy. He's awesome. London Init Geezer is his name. He said, Welshman, not Englishman. He said, that's a fighting word. Explain that to me because I don't know anything about it. So that is a big deal, right? I'm sorry I did that.
So, yeah. So the UK is made up of 4 So it's a bit of a sore subject.
Sorry.
Bit of a rivalry there, as
of course,
what happened with the Tyler fight.
yeah. And I remember that too. That's the thing. When he tweeted me that, I'm like, did I say that? So again, my apologies, man. He said you might kick my ass the next time you saw me. I'm kind of nervous.
No, it's all good, mate. It happens.
All right, it won't happen again. My apologies. I just wanted to own. Documentary. I was watching them film it in the Big Easy when you fought in New Orleans.
Called Kieran Gibbons.
Yes.
It should be available online at some point this week.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. And I'm going to try to get a clip maybe next week and play it. I might bring him on and talk to him briefly about it. We've been tweeting back and forth. How did you get involved in the documentary? I mean, it looks really interesting. I was watching him film it.
I've known Kieran for a number of years. He's always been a good supporter of mine. He's been involved in pro boxing. He's done quite a lot of interviews with me. When I used to have my own podcast, he was a guest on it, and we regularly did things together. And he said, would you be interested in me doing a feature-length documentary about the build-up to your fight in New Orleans, the fight itself, and everything that goes with it? I think a lot of people don't see the behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot of people don't know that I've got a full-time job I'm a family man and how I juggle everything. So yeah, it was really good to have him on board. He's more of a friend than an acquaintance. And yeah, it was we played with it Friday in a place called Avonales and had a good turnout, and it was really good to watch.
Good,
Funny.
man. Good. I'm excited to see it. I know he's going to be sending a link over, so I can't wait to watch it. I think he interviewed some of the BKFC staff. I know he was shooting me. I think one of our camera guys he interviewed. And that's cool, too, because you're getting another perspective. You're not just talking to fighters. Fighters have another perspective. The cameramen and stuff, they're in it every week and every month we travel. They're there for everything, and they're so close watching it. So I think it's cool that we got their perspective as well. I'm excited to see it, man. And I'm glad the premiere went well as well. Let's talk about the fact that you're zines as well as short stories, flash fiction,
it would probably change my life completely. Me and my choices. And I think the pressure is going to get to him more than it will to me. You know, I've got nothing to lose. He's probably looking for those big name fights. You know, he was preparing for Austin Trout. Was available, and he's a great champion for BKFC. It just so happens that I've got to fight him and I've got to beat him.
100%, and I'll agree 100% twice there, because he's just like you. I say it to Luis every time I see him. He's a class act. He's a gentleman. He's easy to work with, and he's amazing to watch fight. He cares about his fans, and he has such a fan base where you're going to be fighting him in Hollywood, Florida on June 23rd. I mean, you'll hear it. They're going to go nuts for him. You've probably seen it before on the BKFC app. Does that affect you at all, or do you block all that out?
It was a bit like when it was in New Orleans and, you know, the crowd was chanting USA, USA and booing me. But I kind of like it. It's a bit like, it reminds me like, you know, wrestling WWF back in the day. And if I got to be the heel, I got to be the heel, you know, it's the name of the game. I got nothing but respect for, you know, the American fan base. They show me loads of love. And I know I'm fighting one of their guys, so I'm happy to take it. I got 10 Welsh guys fighting over with me, so don't be surprised if you hear them more than the other guys in the arena.
That's right. And, you know, you open the WWF can of worms real quick, so I'm going to ask you, do you know who Big Daddy is? He was like a legend across the pond.
Yeah.
All right, I was just curious. I know Sean Wheelock mentioned him on a broadcast before, but that guy was legendary over there. Big Daddy, that's funny. So as far as when you're in there and you're fighting and you're coming in and you, like you said, it doesn't matter. You're kind of prepared for that. But as far as you coming here, you've come here to fight at least once. We've seen you fight in England. I think we were in the UK when we watched you fight last time when I was there. And when you fought Tyler. But when you come here, there's a time change. Bro, when I came to the UK for that fight, that time change affected me, and I'm not even fighting. It's got to affect you. How early are you getting here? How are you combating that?
I'm flying out on Sunday. I found the time change pretty easy, to be honest, because it's like it's been on the East Coast. It's like a 5-hour change.
Yeah.
As long as you make that first day a little bit longer, you know, don't go to bed early, stay up to like 10, 11. It's pretty good. I found it. I don't sleep much anyway. You know, well, as soon as the sun's up, I'm awake. You know, I'm a bit weird like that. So yeah, I found it easy to adjust, to be completely honest with you. Well, the traveling's okay.
Yeah, that's great for you. I'm telling you, the first day when I went to the UK, I was trying to do the long day thing. You stay up so you don't, you know, you kind of get adjusted. And I remember looking at my phone, laying on the hotel bed, and then just passing out within my face and waking up and being like, oh, it's a hard thing to do. It doesn't seem like it affects you. Hey, listen, man, we're excited for your fight. BKFC, Luis Palomino, a huge opportunity, the biggest one of your career. You could walk away a champion, and it's just going to be a fun fight to watch. You and Luis always have fun fights to watch, so it's going to be awesome. BKFC.com, grab that app, get in for June 23rd, $7.99 a month. Now, to end this with a little exclamation point, let's hear a poetry reading from James. Lights out, Lily.
Okay.
Wait, I got it before. Wait, real quick. Does this make you nervous? Because you'd mentioned to me before, it's kind of nerve-wracking to read your poetry in front of people. Is this hard for you?
It's not too bad because it's via this Zoom thing, so I can't see all the people or the comments. But
I'm sure they're going to love
it. A crowd full of people, a room full of people is scary, but yeah.
You're very talented. Like I said, I've read a lot of your work. It's very dark, but I was like, whoa, this guy's deep. So let's hear something from you, man, and tell us about it.
Yeah, do apologize if I mess this up. So this is Damages. It's basically a poem I wrote when I came back from New Orleans, and it's about my wife's relationship with me and fighting. She doesn't ask me to leave, but she doesn't want me to go. Waiting anxiously, scrolling through her phone for news. I come back, another victory, a little less than before. Aging me up the stairs, the aches and the pains, the bruises blooming across my back. I shiver when she traces a finger along the rope burns. I can't pick up my children. My hands are swollen beyond recognition. I shudder. Never again, I tell her. She smiles. We both know this is a lie, but we pretend until I leave again. Thank you.
Wow, dude. That's deep. And like, wow, man. You explained perfectly. I've asked fighters before, how do your significant others feel about you doing this? You just said it in poetry and it was beautiful and we appreciate that. And it's very important. You're welcome. Very important to have a supportive wife. I know Luis does as well, especially for what you're doing, the traveling and the fighting. So I don't know who she is. I don't know her name, but if she's watching, kudos to her. That's very important. There's always a good woman standing behind a champion to be, or just a great fighter. So thank you for coming on here, James. We're excited to watch you fight. Check out his poetry. Is there anywhere they can read your poetry online? Just look up your name with poetry next to it. How do they find your poetry?
I think I've got like a little... I've got link trees on my Instagram and my Twitter. Click on them and it should take you to everything I've had published so far.
All right, that sounds amazing. So make sure you check out his poetry. He's got a lot of other good stuff there too. And we know what a good fighter you are. So father, husband, fighter, writer. I love it. It works. Thank you, James Lilly, for taking the time to come on. I will never call you an Englishman again. You're a Welshman for life, brother.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you for having me, guys.
I appreciate you. I'll see you in Florida, man.
Thank you.
See you soon. Wow. That poem was insane. That was the perfect way to describe a bare knuckle fighter, in my opinion. Hey, Evan, you into poetry? You don't seem like a poetry guy.
About as much as I like wrestling.
Then you love it. That's awesome.
You have a favorite poet?
Robert Frost.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called The Road Not Taken. I also enjoy Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Look that book up. That was like in elementary school. And there was Dr. Seuss is pretty good too. But I think James Lilly might be one of my new favorite poets.
Not my cup of tea.
It might not be, but if you read some of his work, even if you don't like the poetry, it's just the art that flows out of him is pretty amazing. That's how I look at it. But it's not your cup of tea. Hey!
There you go.
All right.
I was waiting for that to click.
Dude, I'm working slow. I don't think I've had one show where I haven't been sick.
What's going on with you?
I'm dying, man. I thought I had cancer the other day. Like, and I'm not being funny. Like I was really feeling like dirt. That helped me too. I had this horrible sinus infection and now it's going down here. So hopefully I'll be good soon. They got me on steroids. I'm a little aggressive. I could use them. I'm losing weight. Look at the picture behind me. That was taken like the other day. I've never been so like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I don't have an appetite. So I'm going to go to the doctor and I'll keep you updated. There's your cliffhanger. Maybe I'll be here next week. Maybe I'll be dead. Who knows? But either way, some people might be happy if I'm dead, actually, Evan. Honestly.
Like who?
Like you, man? I don't know.
No.
No. I think that I'll be just fine. I just have to control my coughing. All right, let's get into a quick look at BKFC 45. Evan, I'd like to talk to you about some of the top fights. We just talked to James Lilly about his fight with Luis Palomino. I think we have a graphic for that for the screen behind me. Obviously excited about the main event. The main event's going to be incredible. I'm a big fan of Lilly. I'm a big fan of Palomino as well. It's hard for me when you build relationships with these guys. You don't want to see them fight sometimes, but you do because it's such a great fight. So I'm looking forward to that. The co-main, that looks good as well. You got Boswick coming back. He's fighting. Hold on, I have it all here in front of me. I thought we had a slate so I could see it. Yeah, Lozano, that's who it is. I couldn't say, is Lozano's his nickname? It took me like 5 minutes to learn how to say because I'm a dumb American, as I said earlier. I believe that's the one that I kept screwing up. So that'll be another good fight. I'm looking forward to Boswick returning, coming back. He's always there to fight. He's always excited to be there to fight. And Lozano has a chance to kind of level himself up a little more here now.
Well, how about Lozano coming back?
Big opportunity.
We haven't seen him
in a co-main event.
No, we haven't seen him since BKFC 12.
That's what I'm saying. It's a big opportunity.
Lorenzo had a huge knockout on him, but then he comes back and he knocks out a former champion. And then, it's a crazy story. We hadn't seen him for so long, then he comes back and makes a statement like that.
You got to put him up there.
Yeah, and then Boswick has never had a boring fight with us. He's always, bloody, and he's either winning or losing, but his stock never goes down.
Never.
And he's a good dude. I like Jake a lot.
He's easy to work with.
That's an exciting fight. I don't know, Eric Lozano that much. We haven't really got the chance to talk to him because we saw him at BKFC 12, and I think he had fought before. Brian, please.
That's not my
turn
phone.
Your phone off.
That's not my phone, bro.
Whose phone's ringing?
One of you morons.
It's actually mine.
Look at him throwing stones, living in glass houses.
Where was I?
No, but here's what I'll say. I think Jake Boswick, I believe he was the first 6-rounder we ever had. He was he was the first guy.
Ty Vogel, BKFC 14.
Yeah, man, that was at the Intercontinental in Miami, I believe.
Yep.
And that was the first 6-rounder, and that was really exciting, man. So he's always going to have a place in history, Jake. He's fun to work with, and he's fun to watch fight. I'm all about that. I think that BKFC 45 coming up is going to be another great event. They said Great Falls was amazing. We have the youngest champion now in Kai Stewart. You didn't make the trip to Great Falls. You were watching on television. At least I assume you were. And you're working from home. What was your view? Because you don't usually get to see it that way. Usually right there by the ringside. Did you enjoy the product on the app?
Yeah, it looked good. I get a feed directly into my computer because I do all the clipping stuff for social media that night. It looked good. It was a good show. We had that one little hiccup there.
Yeah, we made that work, though. Yeah. That ended up working out because you got to see that amazing piece about Christine Faria. By the way, if you haven't seen that piece yet, they're all great, those pieces. But on the app, what a piece about her. That was good. And then live, I was able to talk to Leo Brashear live and keep the crowd going. So you know what impressed me about Great Falls? The crowd. Their excitement didn't wane. Nobody left. They were there from the prelims on. You'll see sometimes like the Hollywood. They come a little later. You see the crowd start to come later. Great Falls is there from the moment. It's like a big event because they don't have a lot going on there.
I just wish it wasn't so hard to get to.
Oh, it sucks to get there.
Yeah, you got to fly to Denver and then Denver to it's all
and you
6
get
hours, whole day of traveling. Yeah,
I got delayed with the president of the company. I had to sit up straight like this and act like I was really professional.
I like I think Kai is great. He's 22 years old. He hopped right on the mic and he knows like. He already was selling the next fight. He was calling out Dad, saying, Dad's next. I'll train harder than ever for that, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And Tony Soto was saying how he might be in over his head with that. And here's what I'll say about Kai. He could be. But Kai is a guy, again, he's a wrestler. He's and I'm not saying pro wrestler. I know we make jokes about that. He's a true wrestler. And that's some of the toughest guys out there. They accept these challenges. They bust their ass to get where they want. And Kai seems like he's feeding off the challenge. He wants the challenge. He wants people to doubt him. That seems like that chip on his shoulder he likes. And I'm all for that. So, hey, congrats to Kai.
He's got a big target on his back, too. He's got every 145 in America basically gunning for him now.
They're going nuts on social.
All the Florida guys are in the comments, saying,
they're going crazy.
Yeah, they're not the biggest Kai fans. So.
No, they're like, all right, we're going to take the belt away. Yeah. They are just flat out doubting him. A lot of people, and that's fine. I mean, you can do that, but again, let's see what the guy has because he's not going to fight right away. They're going to let him rest up. He's probably. Like I said, he's going to bust his ass. He has something to prove now. I'm actually excited to see where Kai's journey takes him next.
Same with, but also for Louis. Like Louis has got a lot of potential still. I wouldn't write Louis off.
Never.
I think I'd like to see, I think is Duran a 45er?
I think so.
He's fighting. He's coming up. I think maybe to see Duran versus Louis. That could be a fun fight. Good. But I mean, there's a lot of these Florida guys coming up on this 45 card. You got Howard Davis.
He's amazing.
Reen Rodriguez, Steve Townsell. You got Cutman G.
Didn't Townsell break? I think we put it on Instagram. He broke.
I don't know if he did.
jaw.
I didn't get the official confirmation,
which is why I
put the question mark next because Sorrow was like pointing to his jaw. So I don't know if he did or not.
Townsell, and listen to the ovation that guy's going to get when he comes out. Townsell, I was kind of bummed for him because a couple of fights ago, he didn't get the fight. He was all prepared. And that must suck as a fighter where you bust your ass, you're there, and then something happens where you can't fight. Yeah. But then he came back with the big win against Chris, Golden Glove Sorrow. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do again next. 45 is going to be great. It's going to be easier to get to as well, which I like that.
I love those Florida shows.
Boom, in and out for us Philly boys.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. So, one more thing I want to talk about. Let me see, because again, when I feel horrible, I don't follow my docket, and then Brandon yells at me. He said, "Oh, you're skipping stuff." Yep, this is it. Okay, good. So another thing, I'm so unprofessional today. Sorry.
Ugh.
I know. Doesn't that sound brutal?
Do you want me to turn your mic down? You can cough a little bit.
No, I'm trying to hold it back. I got cough drop in case. I'm ready to rock.
Are you done with me? You want me off here?
I'm never done with you, Evan. The Lord, the King, the three-time Telly Award winning.
Yeah, not for nothing, but I'd like to be addressed as 3-time Telly Award winning.
I just did. I coached you the three-time.
That's the first time I've heard it today.
Oh, you jerk off.
Are you done? Hold on. Look at him. Jesus. What's the matter with you?
I knew you were going to do something like that. Oh, all right. So.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great now. That's what it feels like in my head. That's what it feels like in my everywhere. I'm just dying here. All right, there we go. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, that's why I love the show. It's so imperfect. We had a big moment. And before we show it, I mean, the people that were live, they saw it. And I don't think it was really talked about. So we're going to go around here, and I want your predictions. We have a guy, former professional fighter. I think he still fights. I don't know. He trains definitely. Tom. Tom works with us. And Tom had come to somebody in the company and said, look, I've been dating this girl, Caitlin, for a while, and I really want to get engaged to her. He said, I'd like to do it in Montana. That's where her father's from. So we brought them in. We sat them VIP. They had no clue. And we kind of set something up to surprise her so we could ask her to marry him in the middle of the squared circle. So, Evan, I don't know if you saw it, but what's your prediction? Do you think that she said yes or no?
I didn't see it, but I'm sure I would have heard if she had said no. So
all right, well,
I'm gonna go with she said yes.
Okay, she said yes. How about you,
Tom's
Brendan?
a good stand-up guy.
Tom's a wonderful guy. He's probably gonna be great. It's gonna be a great thing if she did say yes. Brandon, where were you at? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. And then
I wasn't ready for that.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I kind of lobbed that at you. And then the other question is, Evan, do you believe, Evan, that a man should get down on his knee when he proposes to a woman?
I just think it sets the tone for the rest of the marriage. I mean, did you get down on one knee?
I sure did.
I don't.
Did you?
No.
Whoa!
No.
Where's the breaking news? Where's the breaking news for that?
I'm going to get down. Oh, please. Will you please be my wife? No.
Oh,
Look,
that's a wonderful thing.
Here's your shot. Here's your golden ticket. Take it or leave it. That's it. Why do you got to get down on one knee?
I don't know. I guess it's just tradition.
You already spent thousands of dollars on a ring, and I got to get down and beg,
beg.
Please,
you're such
please,
a clown.
will you marry me?
Did you at least ask her father first?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, please, sir.
There's no tradition here in Evan's life.
No.
So Evan, when your wedding comes, I mean,
I have your
are you gonna have like speeches? Are you gonna have the first dance? Are you gonna dance with your mother? Are you gonna even do that?
Yeah, I couldn't get out of that one. I have banned speeches at the wedding. I just think
I want to give one.
You can give one, but I'm not making it mandatory because I just think it makes people nervous all day, thinking the speech is coming. They're thinking about it. And I just want everybody to have a good time. So, but I couldn't get out of the first dance shit. I got to dance.
Going shit.
I just think I don't like all the attention on me, and I feel like I gotta dance. I gotta like perform for all these people, like
a monkey.
Yeah. I got rid of the entrance, where everybody dances. That's stupid.
There will be no fun at Evan's wedding. He's not allowed.
All that matters is if it's good food. People just want to go there and eat.
What kind of food do you have on your menu, dude?
Oh, I upgraded. I got the prime rib.
Yeah.
Well, not the prime rib.
Filet.
The filet.
Yeah, I'm eating that.
Yeah, that's
what I'm having.
$7 upcharge per plate. So
I'll make sure to give you a little more. I'll give you a little more in your card. Okay. Thanks. I know a guy that I used to work in radio with, and I don't know if it's not normal to me, but he would go to a wedding and he'd bring a blank check, and he would look around, he'd eat, and he'd see what the wedding was worth, and then he'd fill it out, and that's how he did it. I'm not kidding you. Every time he went somewhere, I guess it's kind of smart.
What was your wedding like? That scene in Goodfellas where they pass the pillowcase around,
kinda,
and by the end of it, you thought you were drunk.
Bro,
is that what she said?
Bro, I got a lot. I can't talk about that on the air. Let's move on.
Tell me your story.
No, I can't talk.
Your wedding night.
My wedding night. I'll tell you what I did. I took my wife up to the bedroom when we were done all the partying and stuff, And then we got up there, and it was real nice. It was real romantic. And then I started to peel it off, and I peeled the other thing off. And they were the gift wrap I was peeling off, and I was looking at the envelopes. I said, let's go through all the money and see what we made here. And I'm like, and we can roll around it and make love.
Ooh.
I'm not saying we did that, but I did want to look at the money.
I think I missed the best part is that Nate Shook is marrying me.
Nate is.
The matchmaker, Nate Shook, will be officiating the wedding.
Nate's a reverend, right? Or pastor?
It's something. He's
pastor.
in the eyes of the Lord, he can, and not me, I mean the Lord.
The real Lord, not the
yeah.
Lord. You're the Lord on earth, right?
He's anointed to.
You're the Lord up there.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be exciting. I'm excited for your wedding, and I think it's going to be a fun, well, maybe a fun. I don't know if we're allowed to have fun. I'll sit
You
like
can have
this.
fun. I want you. Yeah.
Can I say, I'll tell you.
You can say, I mean, look, you can go to the DJ and you can request some songs.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Oh, that's, I banned none of those, like, no Cotton Eye Joe or none of that.
Good. I'm all with
that.
that
Shit.
No electric slide?
No.
Come on.
I ain't even
Gets
going to
me
dance.
out.
I don't even dance to begin
I
with.
will bet you money we will catch video of Evan dancing.
I'm going to, no way.
We'll see. Maybe we'll air it on here. Are you going to do the cake to the face thing?
No. Jesus, no.
I'll do it.
That's disgusting.
Listen, I'm going to give you my speech right now before we get to Tom. I took all the spotlight off Tom because you've intrigued me so much.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But hold on. We got to show this in a minute. But
Okay.
I want to say this.
Yeah.
Since I may not be
I'm
able
sure
to give a
everybody
speech at your
cares.
wedding. No, this is for you.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of ups and downs in your marriage. Let's just hope all the ups and downs are in the bedroom.
That was very touching.
I said it to my brother in his speech. I don't think
I can't even say what what I said.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead. Or maybe
No,
not.
it's-
I don't know. You can make
I'll
me
tell you
nervous.
after.
Ooh, if it's good, we'll talk about it
Yeah,
next week.
it's
All right.
naughty. All right.
Let's go to the clip. This
There
is
you go.
Tom and his beautiful...
I want to talk to my girl.
Do you think she knew what was going on here? Obviously.
She had no clue.
Come on.
You know I love you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I set all this up for you because I love you so much. Caitlin Ann Hanover. Will you marry me? Will you be my wife? I love you, baby.
What a beautiful
It
moment.
is, dude.
Wait, I didn't hear her. Did she say yes?
Oh, my. Look at you ruin it. Look at you interjecting yourself.
Congratulations!
You just had to get
Yeah,
in.
I should have shut up,
Yeah,
actually, looking
come
back.
on.
I really should have shut up.
Oh, my God.
That's me all hyped up. That's me in a different...
Jesus.
I apologize, Tom. But listen, I'm getting some messages now. I got people saying prenup to you, Evan.
Really?
Yeah, I got somebody else saying his future ex-wife is going to send Evan a copy of the podcast in 7 years. Probably show it to the lawyers too.
Probably.
Look, hold on. The same person sent a link. It says Philadelphia divorce lawyers. Anyway, that's not for you, Tom. That's for Evan.
Well, look, in that situation where it's everybody's around watching, you probably got to get down on one knee. But me and Kate, look, we went to Arizona. It was me and her.
He's explaining
The sun
himself.
was setting. There was mountain ranges and shit. And I was like, hey, what do you think, huh? And she knew it was coming. Look, listen, she got her nails done.
I said that to Tom. I said that to Tom, dude.
Never
Yep.
gone to a nail salon since I've known her. And she, for no reason at all, just decides to do it. Right
Yeah,
before-
well, they know.
Yeah.
I said to Tom, I said, look
Somebody
if her
leaked
nails
it.
are done. If her nails are done, she knows. If they're
Yeah.
not, she didn't. They weren't done. But Tom's, like you said, Tom's a stand-up guy. He helps out a lot with the company.
Tom's a good dude. I like Tom a lot.
He's a wonderful dude, and I know he's going to be great. I know that the dad was surprised, too. He didn't ask the dad. But congratulations to them. Congratulations to the whole crew for a great BKFC 44 show.
Thank God they did that in the beginning.
Yeah, we're looking.
He didn't take a knee in somebody's fucking teeth.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
the tooth goes into his knee or something, 100%. Yeah. Blood. But listen, I'm going to die if I keep talking. I have to end this. But I just want to say congratulations to Tom and Caitlin. Thank you for all of you for joining us today. And we'll see you next week. We have a lot of good stuff planned. I hope that you can join us again. Thank you to the crew for helping out today. Until next week, get bucked up and knuckle up. And hopefully I'll be here next week and not dead.
Reigning champion looking to add to his legacy by dispatching another dangerous contender. An undefeated challenger from the UK set on dethroning the pound-for-pound king.
Palomino's the number one pound for pound. So for me to be the best, that's who I want to face.
There is no beating me. I will retire undefeated.